If our time with the SCP Foundation has taught us anything, it's that books are evil and not to be trusted. This is why right now you're doing the right thing and watching some nice, wholesome YouTube videos, rather than potentially exposing your delicate mind to the devilry of the written word. Think we're over-exaggerating here? That's how they get you. Sure, you could pick up a book right now and give it a read, but what if it was SCP-592, the inaccurate history book, where just reading beyond a certain point will drive you mad and start to inflict potentially deadly wounds caused by a nightmarish retroactively altered past? Or what if you decided you wanted to read some slightly more niche historical subjects and picked up a vintage copy of A Chronicle of the Devas, not knowing that this is also an incomplete chronicle, classified as SCP-140. You get a paper cut on one of those aging yellow pages and boom, you're suddenly forced into slavery in a Davite labor camp. Maybe that rightly scared you off of history. You want to do something a little more scientific, so you grab a copy of SCP-1025, the Encyclopedia of Common Diseases. Next thing you know, agents of the CDC are surrounding you, wearing hazmat suits and setting up a secure quarantine tent because they think you have a rare strain of super mega Ebola. Not even some nice escapist fantasy is safe. You pick up a copy of SCP-1230, A Hero is Born, to have a magical fantasy adventure in your dreams. But then when you wake up, you've lost all your lust for life because it just can't measure up to the fantasy. And don't even get us started on SCP-3512, an anomalous book of pickup artist tips called The More You Know, A Pickup Artist's Guide. Sure, it may have a foreword by Snoop Dogg himself, and it may be less dangerous to read than the other books here, but considering it's ultimately a book of fifthist rituals designed to help you mind control women for romantic purposes, you're probably a horrible person if you want a copy. So we're all on the same page now. Books are evil. They're best to be avoided at all costs. And what is a catalog or magazine but a very thin book, right? So they're evil light. You cannot trust them under any circumstances. That's why when Professor Snyder got a strange new magazine delivered directly into his mailbox, it didn't take long for him to smell a rat and take it down to his local SCP Foundation containment site for some preliminary tests. The magazine's cover read, "The Official SCP Sales Catalogue." Already this was weird enough. The SCP Foundation doesn't produce any kind of sales catalog. That's more Marshall Carter and Dark's modus operandi. But this catalog had Dr. Jack Bright on the cover, smiling and holding SCP-066, the living ball of yarn known as Eric's toy, like he was overjoyed with it. When Professor Snyder showed the cover to Dr. Bright himself, he said that it might just be some high-quality Photoshop, because he never took a photo like that. The cover also bore slogans like, "Our best issue ever," and "Hundreds of bargains." And Professor Snyder soon found that both of these bizarre slogans were true, in a manner of speaking. The inside of the catalog contained comprehensive records of almost every SCP recorded on the database, complete with photos and descriptions. Though rather than the sterile scientific depictions typical of an SCP Foundation document, these descriptions were written like peppy sales copy, aimed at selling off the products in question. Mortified by the potential security breach he was holding, Professor Snyder decided to take a look through the catalog and assess the damage, flicking between the pages, both dazzled and terrified by just how deep this thing went. Item 063, the world's greatest toothbrush. Don't let the typo fool you. This toothbrush is out of this world. No toothpaste needed. Just gently scrub your teeth and like magic, all that nasty plaque is completely obliterated. And for those ground-in countertop stains, look no further than the world's greatest toothbrush, available in blue, pink, and green. SCP-063, of course, being a toothbrush capable of completely expunging matter from existence with its anomalous bristles. Item 123, contained miniature black hole. Back in stock after so many requests, this black hole is guaranteed to spaghettify anything you throw at it. Great for science projects and parties. And what's a better way to say I love you than with the gift of a contained miniature black hole? Order now while supplies last. Warning, contains small parts. It goes without saying why ever giving the public access to a dangerous and unstable contained black hole would be a disaster of a truly cosmic magnitude. Item 244, Ice Fog Jar. Why waste electric bill money on expensive refrigerators? This jar will turn an enclosed space of any size into your own private meat locker. Freeze whatever you want. Just pop off the lid and watch it go. Oh boy. Engaging with SCP-244 is an extremely risky business. Once the fog from the jar has reduced the ambient temperature of the room significantly, it runs the risk of bringing in SCP-244-2, a deadly gaseous entity that can kill people with an instant flash freezing effect.
Item 340, Insanity Candy. A truly maddening prank. Trick your friends into eating these covert candies and watch them literally go out of their minds. Available in 5-packs.
Professor Snyder winced at the memories this one brought on. SCP-340, now a deadly kind of virus, had once been a particularly lethal packet of M&Ms capable of inducing various types of severe mental illness in its victims. This was no prank, unless you happen to be an extreme sadist with no regard for human life and happiness, like all the prank channels that have since been wiped from YouTube.
Item 447, Ball of Green Slime. What can you do with it? What can't you do with it? Use it as a lubricant, top off your gas tank, style your hair, or even dress up your salads and sundaes. The possibilities are endless. Now available in blue. Warning: do not apply to dead bodies.
Professor Snyder gulped and shuddered. The less said about that, the better. Item 500, Panacea. Got Ebola, HIV, cancer, athlete's foot? This pill cures them all. No malady is too incurable. Out of stock. This one was equal parts relieving and surprising. Relieving because at least this particularly rare and powerful item was out of stock, and when it was in stock demanded a 6-figure payment per pill. Surprised by the fact anyone outside the Foundation knew about the Panacea and wasn't bashing down their doors to get it. Item 551, Impossible Puzzle. Throw out your Rubik's Cube and put down that crossword. This is the puzzle to end all puzzles. No one in history has ever completed it. Can you? Hours of fun! This mind-shattering jigsaw puzzle was an incredibly dangerous thing to market as a mere toy, especially considering some of its victims lost their minds while attempting to solve it. But Professor Snyder could only brace himself, turning page after page, because things were about to get a whole lot worse in the official SCP Sales Catalogue. Item 173, the Sculpture. Spice up your living room with this unique decoration. The ultimate conversation piece that you will literally never want to stop looking at. Will draw the eye of all of your most distinguished guests. Item 035, the Possessive Mask. For those with a theatrical spirit, this mask is a perfect way to hide that ugly mug while also putting some fascinating new ideas in your head. This mask really speaks to you, and you'll find that after wearing it for a while, you'll lose a lot of weight too. Item 1981, Ronald Reagan cut up while talking. Are you a big fan of analog horror and one of the few people who still own a working VCR? Do you have a real disdain for the late ex-president Ronald Reagan? Then you'll love this classic taping of one of his iconic speeches. No spoilers. Item 5000, the Suit. Are you looking for the latest word in anomalous fashion that can be ostentatious or very, very discreet? You'll love this total exclusion suit. It'll do everything you need and more, especially when it feels like the world is going crazy around you. Item 055, the Anti-Meme. It isn't a sphere. I'm sorry, what were we trying to sell you here again? Item 2000, Deus Ex Machina. For when you or the entire world just needs a fresh start, you can't go wrong with this unique big-ticket item. Great for people who love mountain hikes too. Item 914, the Clockworks. Improve the people and possessions in your life in fun and unexpected ways, or grind them down into dust. It's all up to you. We don't care what you do with it as long as you pay for it. Item 662, the Butler's Handbell. Just ring the bell and put your feet up. Mr. Deeds, the world's finest butler, will do anything and everything you want within reason. He's well-dressed, polite, and endlessly professional. What more could you want? Item 847, the Mannequin. Looking for some customizable companionship, fellas? You'll love the Mannequin. Fully posable, she'll change her features based on your desire. And if you love the yandere types, you'll love the fact that she'll attack any woman who comes close to her. Item 978, the Desire Camera. Having a hard time figuring out what you really want from life? Having trouble finding out what your loved ones want for their birthday? Want to get some grade A blackmail material on someone in your life? This is the product for you. Item 1918, Tic-Tac-Toe. Sick of video games? Want something more intense and immersive than even VR? Want to give your kids a new playmate? Then Tic-Tac-Toe is exactly what you need. Set them up in your house and the game will never end. Item 131, the iPods. These adorable little doodads make great friends for your pets. and they'll also keep a close eye on your house when you're not around. They come in 2 colors, and they're sure to lift up your mood just by being there. Item 407, the Song of Genesis. Are you a keen gardener who wants to grow plants the likes of which humanity has never seen? This little cassette will turn your garden into its own little slice of Eden in no time flat. Note, out of stock due to supply chain tampering. Item 1370, Pesterbot. A little toy with a big personality. Perfect for any retro toy collector or kids with aspirations to become evil geniuses. Pesterbot is the ultimate hilarious playmate. Item 348, a gift for dad. Need a warm meal that'll really soothe your soul? Forget standard hot plates. This plate will give you a soup so delicious, it'll repair your relationship with your dearly departed father and give you the inner peace you've been so desperately seeking. Item 085, hand-drawn Cassie. The ideal gift for any art lover. You won't find a drawing more filled with life than this one, and that's a guarantee. Let Cassie make a new home on your living room wall. Item 1609, the remains of a chair. Once an extremely comfortable chair that would appear behind you whenever you really needed it to take the weight off your feet. Now discontinued due to slight damages sustained in transit. Item 666, Spirit Lodge. Got an addiction you need to kick? Booze, pills, cigarettes, video games, YouTube videos? If you think rehab is too expensive and AA is too condescending, then buy yourself your very own Spirit Lodge. The perfect way to go cold turkey. Item 323, Wendigo Skull. Do you need to do some precious protein loading for your upcoming workout regimen? Then this stylish piece of Algonquin headwear will boost your appetite and make light work of that new carnivorous diet. Item 136, Naked Doll. You've got to do the best to please her just cause she's a living doll. That's right, this product will have you saying "Hello Dolly" as she floats towards you in the nude. She's definitely going to provoke some strong emotional reactions in you. Item 261, Pan-Dimensional Vending Machine. The perfect vending machine for your home or office if you like real surprises. Mind-blowing and sometimes head-exploding snacks, drinks, and treats from all over the multiverse comes out of this handy-dandy little machine. Note, you are liable for checking allergy information. Item 2295, the Bear with a Heart of Patchwork. If you don't have health insurance, this little bear can be a genuine lifesaver. Skip those annoying organ donation waiting lists and get right down to business with this patchwork pal. Item 426, I am a toaster. I am an excellent 4-slice toaster with user-friendly settings and energy efficiency that makes me both affordable to use and more environmentally friendly. You will appreciate having me in your kitchen. Item 1123, Atrocity Skull. Are you a big fan of the darker side of history but find that photos, books, and archival footage aren't enough for you? This tasteful knickknack will help you get in touch with living history like never before. Item 2430, Immortal Hitler Clone. If you're Jewish, Romani, gay, transgender, disabled, Polish, French, Russian, mentally ill, or just not a terrible person, then the Immortal Hitler Clone will make the perfect stress-reducing punching bag for you. Item 387, Living Lego. Everything is awesome when you've got your hands on the living Lego, the only building block toy that can play back, and they're completely harmless unless you step on them. Item 137, a real toy. If you are a toy collector or a kid who doesn't seem to have many friends, then a real toy will enhance any and every playing experience. See your games come to life like never before. Nothing beats playing with a real toy. Item 272, and Old Iron Nail. Want to keep something in place with zero risk of escape? As long as it has a shadow, then the Old Iron Nail has got you covered. Even has a built-in security system to keep itself safe from any attempts to damage it. Item 4158, Big Charlie. If you love to grill, then you'll love Big Charlie. This mighty steer will keep you swimming in steaks forever. Perfect for hosting barbecues for literally everyone you know and everyone they know. Item 3108, the Nerfing Gun. Are other people's things nicer than yours? That ain't right. Get your hands on the Nerfing Gun and knock those jerks down a peg for good. Professor Snyder couldn't believe what he was reading. This was textbook anomalous insanity. It even had hardcover copies of all the books we were complaining about during the intro. It didn't take long for the official SCP Sales Catalogue to be designated an anomaly itself, with the number SCP-000-J. But if you can believe it, the madness didn't even stop there. You see, the catalog didn't just contain the anomalies themselves as available products. It also contained a wide variety of SCP Foundation merchandise. T-shirts, books, DVDs, even video games and action figures, and so much more. Naturally, none of this had ever been authorized by the SCP Foundation itself, or the staff or anomalies in question. To give you an idea of just how absurd this gets, Here are some examples of the fresh SCP Foundation merch inside the sales catalog. There was a white cotton t-shirt with a slogan on it reading, "I survived the wrath of SCP-682," along with a picture of SCP-682 on the shirt itself. Available in size small to extra large. A 30.48 cm or 12-inch SCP-076-2 action figure, with interchangeable wardrobe, accessories, and carrying case shaped like SCP-076-1. When the real Abel was shown a picture of this action figure, he responded to it with disgust, claiming it was an insult. Though, to be fair, Abel does think that about a lot of things. A 2-disc CD titled Dr. Clef's Holiday Hits. Cover depicts Dr. Alto Clef in a Santa outfit and holding a microphone. When he was questioned about it, Dr. Clef denied ever recording such an album. He had only recorded a brief ukulele LP with no vocals back in 1991. There was also a somewhat tasteless woman's pinup calendar called The Girls of SCP featuring, you know what? No, this one is just creepy. Moving on. There was a 3-disc DVD set entitled SCP Brawl, The Greatest SCP vs. SCP Fights. The cover depicts SCP-076-2, 173, and 682. Each disc is 9 hours long and features various Keter-level SCPs fighting each other. We've actually been releasing segments of it on this channel for months now, and we intend to keep doing it no matter how many cease and desist letters we keep getting from the official SCP Sales Catalogue. There was also the 2-disc soundtrack for Ferdinand the Musical, a musical about the life of SCP-082, which seems to contain some tracks with the vocals of SCP-082 himself. When asked about this, SCP-082 spoke with great pride about his time in musical theater, but given that he's a pathological liar, it's difficult to know whether this is true. He's the current owner of the album because he ate the last owner and refuses to give it back. Oh, and there was also an adorable high-quality SCP-999 plushie. Incidentally, this is the only one of these products you can get in real life from www.scpswag.com. No, we're not kidding. Check out the link in the description after the video. This whole anomaly ended up being a deeply bizarre mystery for the members of SCP Foundation personnel to investigate. While you could theoretically order multiple iterations of each item, you would only get the real one, surrounded by a number of cheap copies. While Professor Snyder called the helpline directly, he was repeatedly rebuffed, with the call operator hanging up on him if he tried to do anything other than order an item. If you do order an item, it will simply end up on your doorstep, and then the Foundation will need to come and recontain it. Personnel wishing to test this item are required to do so using their personal funds, as it's essentially just throwing Foundation money into a furnace. There currently only seems to be one of these catalogs, but if ever one appears elsewhere, it's likely to give the SCP Foundation a major headache. See? What did we tell you? Books. You just can't trust them. Do you want our advice? Just stick to YouTube videos. In fact, you should go check out Why Everyone Wants to Eat This Corpse, SCP-1176, and SCP-049 Boiled, Scrambled, and Fried Plague Doctor Tale for more bizarre and hilarious journeys into SCP Foundation lore.